and we are now joined by Gayle Taub, fitness trainer and nutrition coach in West Bloomfield. Now, Gayle has been a regular guest on The Splash, but this is my first time getting to sit down and chat with her. So we're going to switch gears a little bit today and talk about credentials a little bit when it comes to fitness trainers. But before we get into that, Gayle, how are you? It's so nice to talk to you.
Nice to meet you, Erica. Nice to be here this morning as usual.
Yes, we are so glad to have you. So first off, why are certifications so important when it comes to a nutritionist or fitness trainer?
Yeah, so I think there's three things that come to mind. There's many reasons, but I'll just pick three to talk about real quick. First of all, in this industry, there is no police. And so anybody really can say that they can train or they can coach another person based on their own belief of what their experiences have been or what they've done in their world. But really, because of that, there are some people that say that they're trainers and they really are not legitimate trainers. So no police, just recognize that you should ask some questions about how they learned and where they learned what they know. The second reason is it really does say a lot about a person, the actual trainer or coach, when they are investing their time and energy to learn, that lifelong learning, that they don't believe that they know everything about everyone and how to help everyone. And even in a particular area of fitness or wellness, that they don't always know. So going back to school, having new certifications gives that trainer a little bit more value for you, knowing that they've invested in themselves so that they can invest in you. The third reason is your goals, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you go to a trainer or a coach who specializes in helping someone to, let's say, build muscle, but that's not where you're at. That's so far down the road. You're looking for confidence. You're looking for safety. You're looking for something else. You need to make sure that the qualifications of that person are aligned with what you need and want for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting how you put that. You know, there is no police in the industry. You know, when you go to a doctor, you know that that person's certified, they've gone to school. But when you're looking for a personal trainer, it's not the same. So I think it's really important that we're having this discussion. And on that same note, what are some things that you or anyone else who is a certified personal trainer or nutrition coach would know that an average person like myself might not necessarily know?
Yeah. So the first couple things that come to mind. Number one, depending on the person that is working, your client, there is more than one way to do something properly. And there's a whole bunch more ways to do something in a scary, non-safe way. So the idea that there's only one way to do a squat properly is not accurate at all. A good trainer, someone who understands the human body, anatomy, and the person that's standing in front of them, can meet that person where they're at and adjust their form in many different ways based on what their feedback is to you. And most of the time, somebody who's not working with a qualified trainer that has good experience, excuse me, might believe that they can't do a squat because it hurts, period. And that's not always the case. Another topic to think about is this idea that there is a difference between something that hurts and is unsafe or feels bad versus something that is difficult and challenging versus when you are tired and you have every right to be struggling. A good trainer, someone who's qualified, can actually notice and witness those things regardless of what the other person is saying and can stop and adjust as appropriate. The other thing about that is the flip side, having the client be able to feel comfortable immediately stopping if they are uncomfortable or feel pain, different than being tired or something being challenging. And that interaction is so important so that the person begins to gain confidence and differentiate between something that's hard, I need to stop, or hurts and I need to stop. I know my people like the back of my hand, and I get to know them over time. And so we have that really good relationship where they both feel comfortable talking to me and stopping, not worried about what I think, and I can do the same for them.
That relationship is so important. But let's say I'm not with you or my personal trainer at a given time. I'm home or at the gym on my own. How can I tell if something I'm doing is just challenging and difficult, or if it's too much for my body and I should probably stop?
I would start with the conversation prior to the workout. How is the interaction with that trainer? How is that coach? Are they listening to you? Are they actually asking you? And are you doing more of the talking than they are? Right? There's an explanation then that would take place before you start, and a trainer that says, listen, if you need to stop, you should stop. So the conversation and the dynamic between you and your trainer should feel very complete and comfortable and two-sided. That's very important. Some of the other questions are, do you feel comfortable stopping and saying, this doesn't feel good? This isn't right. Or how can I do this differently? Is that comfortable or not comfortable? How does that trainer respond to you? And the other thing that you can think about is, what kind of work are you actually doing? Does it fit the conversation and the goal conversation that you had? Is it appropriate for where you're at? Did they do testing in your first session to learn how you move, to see, to experience it, and to talk to you so that they can then create a program that works for you? So the biggest thing is that relationship and being able to go back and forth. And when you feel like you need to ask a question or stop or say, this isn't really what I'm looking for, how comfortable are you to do that? It should be very, very comfortable.
So just another minute with you, real quick here on the topic of credentials. Most importantly, before you can assess anything else we've talked about, where can I find a reputable professional?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. So, the idea of just going into a gym or, following your friend's advice, that's one way to do it, but not always the best way. Why don't you do your own homework first? There's a few sites that I would recommend, or a few ideas to recommend. Number one, there's a site out there called healme.com. HEAL.me.com. That is a wellness practitioner site. You can search for whatever type of wellness practitioner you're looking for in your area. And I know I'm on that site, and I can tell you they do check credentials. The second thing is check the credential hubs for training. So there's three. ISSA is one of them, International Sports Sciences Association. NASM, I know I'm saying a lot of words right now, but that's National Academy of Sports Medicine. And then there's also ACE. That's a good place to start to know that they're qualified. Whether they're the right person for you and they're a good trainer, that's another story.
Well, Gayle, thank you so much for all of this information. I'm so glad that we got to have this discussion. I know I definitely learned a lot, and I have been thinking about getting a personal trainer, so I'll definitely be in touch with you soon. But again, thank you so much for continuing to come on our show. We really appreciate it, and it was great getting to meet you myself.
You too, Erica. Have a great day.